doing here? Okay, back with another live stream. Well, I was trying to be ready, but I wasn't ready. Okay, I'm ready to go back to work on the, of all things, I got to go back to work on the IBM. It's still making noise. Oh, I've been trying to get things all set up, and one of the things I want to do is show the noise on my wireless mic. So let me switch to this camera, and well, let's just go to desktop, and I'll switch mics now so I don't forget. Both mics. Okay, wireless mic. Okay, and let me make sure my sound all works and everything. Okay, so I've been going back and forth. I'm just going to do it as I think of it, though. Okay, I'm going to have to. I already zoomed in here for use with the, at showing the showing the screen, the monitor, when I can't do it on remote desktop. And I've already turned on my server in the garage, my backup server, and I rebooted the router and modem, to make sure everything was working good for our stream, and all that. Make sure the Wi-Fi the cache wasn't full and stuff. And it happened, I got it done fast enough that I didn't even, didn't go offline at all. Wasn't noticed by Uptime Robot anyway. It checks. I don't remember how often it checks. Every 30 seconds or 3 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't even remember. I know it's around 30 seconds to 3 minutes because it usually shows when I reboot. So I don't need that right now. We'll in a minute. And let's go to Cam 2 now. Let me get over here with my mic. Well, watch me. It gets louder and quieter, but it's irritating me. It's when I'm trying to go to sleep and stuff, I can hear it, and it starts driving me crazy. And it'll get louder that's when it starts bothering me. But the IBM, the one I got set up from a web server. Okay, now it's just kind of pretty quiet, but you can still hear it. If I put this mic down there. It's actually very quiet right now. Put it in the front too. Put it on the side again. You probably have to turn up the. Let me put this back on. You'd probably have to turn up the volume to, during that, like back up and turn up the volume if you didn't hear it, to hear what I'm talking about, because it's not as loud as it has been. For a long time here tonight, I've been up for hours, since about, well, when did I get up? 8, 9 in the evening. And I ate breakfast and got on the computers, and well, I haven't been feeling good, so I actually, Saturday and Sunday, slept for 24 hours. I just felt terrible, and I don't do that real often. Well, I didn't used to hardly ever do it, once every several years, but now I do it every couple of months or two. Just start feeling bad and just sleep. Okay, let me get the other. And because that way it'll sound better on the desktop and everything. And I guess while I'm thinking about it, well, I won't zoom in again until I figure out what it is I'm going to do. I may need, I think I'm going to need that view. Okay, there's a couple things I got to do. Let me make sure the audio's all good. Okay, there's a couple things I got to do before I can. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to pull. You can take that front cover off the IBM. This front cover on the IBM will come off, and you can see the white around the front of it. Those are some of one of my previous videos. I had dropped my little TP-Link router. You can see the lights blinking in the back. It's sitting on top of the IBM. I had dropped it down behind the desk, and I left it there for several days because I didn't feel like digging it out. But when I had the IBM dug out, I already had it dug out, but before I put it back, I went ahead and got it while I had room to work back there. I used a string to pull it back up, and I decided to leave that string tied to it because it's not the first time I've dropped it down back there. It falls really easy. It's so light that the cables will just pull it down if you don't watch out, and that's what happened. I had it setting there, moving other cables, and they tugged on it. Down it went, Didn't disconnect anything or make it stop working. It's just down there under the desk, and in the dust bowl down there. Anyway, I left the string on it, and I noticed, I thought that thing is just on the edge of falling, and I set other things in front of it, and if you bump it, it's liable to knock it off. So I wrapped that string around the front of the case cover. So I'll have to take that string off in order to take the case cover off, but it's got a button on the back of the IBM. You push it, and that whole cover just pops right off. It's pretty neat. And there's a hard drive bay in there. And so I don't have to even take the side door off to put a hard drive in the front. But what I'm going to do is put one in the front. I've got a 40 gig and a 30 gig down there. I don't remember what's on the 40 gig. Well, I don't remember what's on either one of them. I'm going to see which one. I might see what's on both of them and see which one I want to try and use. See which one's the quietest, really. Because I may just install Fedora 28 server on there and take that. Anyway, I can get the side door off with it sitting there. It's a little hard, but I can get it off, and I can unplug that hard drive that's inside. I could even take it out if I need to. But while I'm trying to figure all this out, I may not take it out. I may leave it in there and see what works the best. I can't figure out for sure if my brand new, I put a 4-pin fan on that 3-pin header on the motherboard, and it works fine. And actually, the speed control even seems, I think the speed control works because I heard it ramping up. I know it works. I heard it ramping up for a couple of hours. I was on that machine running the web browser and stuff, doing something one day. I can't remember what it was. And but if it does seem to make that slight noise that you could hear just now, it constantly sounds like that ever since I put it in there. So I'm thinking there's either one or two things. Either that fan is this is where I'm going next. Either that fan is speeding up and making more noise, the more noise that's bothering me, or it's the hard drive just getting louder and quieter for whatever, because it's basically old, and it is old. It's an 80 gigabyte Maxter from about 02 or 04 or something like that. It's a good drive. Been lasting all these years, but it does seem like it's been louder in the last year or two. So, and these other drives aren't new ones. One of them's a Maxter, as a matter of fact. One's a Maxter. The 40 gig's a Seagate, I think, and the other one's a Maxter. Actually, it's about the same age. Yeah, it's almost the same age as the one that's in there. Came out of a Dell desktop that got we got hit by lightning years ago, and I didn't have everything protected, and so I lost that computer. Run the motherboard, but everything else was still good, the memory and all that stuff. I don't know if the processor's good because I never had another motherboard it would fit in. But anyway, it was just dead in the water. It wouldn't do anything. But I think I've used the RAM and other things. The hard drive, I've used it in several different machines. It's small. It's too small to like make a good machine, but it's good for like playing around with stuff. But nowadays it is. So anyway, I installed Fedora Media Writer so that I could, make USB sticks for Fedora, booting and installing Fedora. This is all this is domain 9 actually. Oh yeah, domain's not what I even want. Oh, okay. I want Fedora Server. I don't know what I have over here on the left on my backup drive. Yeah, I just downloaded that the other day. But I need i386. Let's go by newest. So my plan was I'm still half mixed up. Yesterday I didn't work at all. I was too out of it. After sleeping 24 hours, I was too out of it to do anything. Today I thought, well, I've been spending a good long time woke up and together, but I don't know how together I am yet. Okay, Fedora, there it is. Fedora Server DVD i386 28. There it is right there. That's the one I need. Now, I don't believe that I downloaded that I downloaded a couple of them on the IBM, and they're on it still. that's probably not one of them. So I may have to copy this over there to it. Alright, so let's go see what's on it before I may have to set up. I finally remembered why whenever I try to go to another machine with SSH, SFTP and Krusader, finally remembered why it was not working, and it just kept saying not supported. Well, it's been supported from the first day I ever used Krusader, and I was like, what the heck? Why would they drop it? I said that in a couple of my videos. I finally remembered they dropped logging in with password is what they did. But if you make a public and private key on your machine, and then you have to, on every machine that you want a SFTP between or SSH between, and then copy your public key over to each machine that you want to go from and to and back and forth, then which basically the easiest way for me to do that is USB sticks. I put the public keys on the USB sticks, and you can copy them to whatever machine you need to. Actually, you could have it with you, if you were going around and stuff. But say if you left, like if you wanted SFTP into your machine, you had it. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that online. I used to set that up on the internet. People kept trying to break into it, and so I, kept running scripts on it. So I turned it all off and only do it on my local network. But anyway, you still can do it, but it may not be a good idea, because you can't really. It uses up your bandwidth, and of course they might finally break in. They never did, that I could never tell. But a good security add-on for that is one called Fail2Ban. Fail2 with the number 2, I think. Fail2Ban. Install that on Debian or Fedora when you have a server like SFTP server, or really any kind of server. I think it'll work for it. And after so many tries, you can either leave it on the default or set it the way you want to. After so many tries, that IP gets banned. You won't even let them in anymore. So we can help stop those scripts. At least after 7 failed tries, or however many. But so anyway, I use that. That doesn't come to stock with Fedora server. It didn't in Fedora 23 anyway. But I knew about it and remembered it one day. Well, I ran into it on my Debian servers. What happened to my backup server? Like, oh yeah, that's a good app. So let's see if I have this over there. So yeah, I guess what I need to do, I already closed my browser, but of course I can't show. I mean, I could install a VNC. I don't really want remote desktop on my server. I don't even want to install it temporarily because I'm afraid I'll forget and leave it on there, and that's another one of those potential huge, that's the biggest kind of security risk it could be if you forget and leave that up and running. And somebody, that's the other thing they do with script, with brute force scripts that run brute force attacks, is they try to look for remote desktop servers too. So so I just never have installed any kind of remote VNC or anything on my server, because it's open to the internet only on port 80 and like that. But so now I'll go over there to that machine. Let's see, get on that machine. And of course it'll be a blurry picture, but I just don't, with my setup, I just can't have any sharper of a picture than that when I'm on a camera. Okay, so this is my server running Fedora 23, but it's not online now, literally not online now. I mean, well, you could get online, but it's not serving to the web. My backup server in the garage is serving to the web right now. So let's see what I have downloaded on here. If I already have that, then all I have to do is just make that. I want to do that before I, unplug this hard drive. Yeah, and there's stuff on it that I would end up needing to back up, so I don't want to take. Yeah, I don't want to take it out. I just remembered. Okay, so I just have them in the basic downloads folder. What do I have? Okay, Fedora Mate, Fedora Live Security, and Kaspersky rescue disk. That's all I got on there. Okay, so in order to use it, I need to go ahead and get my hang on, I'm having trouble knocking stuff over. I was going to put my little 32 gigabyte stick in there, and I'm not sure. I can't remember. Oh yeah, well I'm on okay, so I'm on camera, so you're not going to be able to read it. So that'll be, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to, let's see, we'll go to home. That's where you're going to go if you want to get your, go to home.ssh, yeah, .ssh, known hosts. Okay, that's not what you want. I mean, you can add, if you have trouble, while I'm thinking about it, if you, sometimes I hit enter and nothing happened yet, maybe it didn't. Let's hit view, click view. In your known hosts file, that's not where the keys are. I'll have to remember, figure it out here in a second. I should be able to. Anyway, like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 known hosts. And actually you don't, what you can do, I'm going to do it because only thing, if you delete everything in there and then save it, the only thing you lose, wait, let me undo that. There is one thing that's a pain if you delete it. Like if you have internet stuff in there, like internet websites, like, you know, Git repository, not Git, yeah, Git, stuff like that. Not Git. Yeah, I think some Git repositories, but what I was thinking of is some of the well-known websites. I can't think of a single name of any of them right now. But okay, all I have is local. Yeah, 2 local machines in here. RSA, SSH RSA keys. That's what I'm talking about. I couldn't remember all the names of everything. Okay, so what happens is that the machine may change its IP address over time, and so it'll say this is not a recognized. That's weird. I deleted them and hit save, and then hit save, and it brought them right back. Let's do it one more time and see what the deal is. Delete. I don't think I have any that like say don't ever delete these or anything. Select all. I'll do it with the menu up here and see what the deal is. Oh, I don't know if it's I hit delete on the keyboard is what I did. And they were doing word rep and now they're not. And that's what threw me off. I thought there was 4 keys in there. It's not responding to my hit and delete. Well, let's leave it like that. The owner, I was just doing it as a preventative measure. Okay, now. Do you want, okay, now it's saying, do you want to override it? I'm going to say yes because it's actually how it should. If I have trouble, I'll have to come back over here and delete whatever one. If it says, you'll get an error saying, I can't remember. But anyway, if you get an error when you try to log into another machine and you already have your keys, I don't think it's under keys. I don't know if it's under local or. I was trying to find this the other day and couldn't find it, and I thought, well, I just on my new machine, I thought it was because I haven't done it yet. But I was thinking it was going to be in .ssh. I didn't even have a .ssh folder, and I thought, well, I don't think I have SSH installed. But then I saw it running. So VNC theme shutter, maybe in local or config. Let's look in config. There's not an, I don't think there's an RSA folder. Should have looked it up. meant to look it up before I got back over here on this machine. Local share. Could be that. Not an SSH folder. Key rings. Login user. That's different. Okay, because you're going to have public and private. I guess I'll have to go over there and start doing it on my new machine just to figure out where these folders are. Oh, let's see. I already put that, I think. What I was doing over here on this machine, I was going to try and copy the public key onto my USB stick or my SD card in the USB adapter. So documents, I should have a folder in there if I've already done it. I don't see one. Unless I just put it in the... I don't even have a IBM Server folder in here. I could have had them on there and then took them out. And yeah, could be in downloads though. Usually I'd put it in documents, but sometimes I just don't think. Okay, so let's go back to documents. I thought I'd be able to find the right folder. I've done it enough times. I've done it, don't do it often, but I do it over the years. You know, I do it plenty of times. Okay, so let's go back into, this is not a huge computer, you know, a lot of files on this, so. I can't remember if the file is a .pub file or what it is. I think it might just say pub.whatever, .key or something. So, yeah, let's just go back to my, I think it's running a little harder now. Let's see. Yeah, let's switch mics. I have to get back over there and switch mics, and I'll just leave that Krusader running. That'll help it work harder, so it can aggravate me while I'm doing this. Let's see. I guess I should get that SD card out of there for now. I don't know which way. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. I'm going to have to do it again, you know. So I'll take it out of there for now. So I'll have to plug it into each machine and do this. Okay. Back to my machine. And back to the desktop. Now, the first thing I've got to do is find the how to do that part. And let's see. I think I'll close Krusader just because of, you know, saving it on used system resource usage. And I'll use the desktop search. I mean the file search, not the desktop search. And I'll get on my backup drive because that's where that's going to be. And it should be in documents. If I don't find it there, I'll hit Google, you know. Documents, come on, there we go, documents. This has got a weird search in it. It's kind of neat, but it's kind of, it goes places I don't want it to. Okay. Public key, let's see. I believe I'll just be looking for public key. That would probably do it. I'll just go by names because if I do text search inside of the files, it takes a lot longer. And I got plenty of documents. Okay. And I should have like the commands and the whole instructions saved on here, because I remember having to do a bit of searching 2 or 3 different times in the last year or two, trying to find the exact easy way to do it. Exact command line, commands. So I suppose I could if it's going to take that long. I thought it might start popping up real quick. Didn't find anything. SSH key, RSA key. That's probably what I need to do. I think they're actually called RSA keys. RSA. There. Now there's a jillion of them, but most of them don't have anything to do with key pass text. Let's see what that is. Oh, I think that's an actual file of yeah, this is from Fedora 23. Generating. Okay, here's the commands. Private key pair. Enter file in which to save the key, home.ssh. Okay, that's where I'd been putting them. So there's not none on my server. Oh, my server, I always wanted to get into it as root, so I could I did it as root probably only because all I really ever wanted to do on there was to work on my website, and you have to be under root to write those files over your website because of where they are. So I guess I didn't do it in my regular user. Enter the file, and some of this is already in there, and you just hit enter. And then enter passphrase, empty for no passphrase. And I've tried it both ways. And if you're going to put a password in there, so you can have the public and private key and a password, or you can just do the public and private key. And I think I kept getting hung up when I would try to do a password, maybe because I kept doing it wrong or something. Then your identification has been saved in home.ssh ID RSA. Your public key has been saved in home.ssh ID RSA pub. Okay. And so the pub ones are the only ones you ever want to share. The ones that are ID RSA, those are the private keys. You don't ever want to share those. And there's the key fingerprint right there. And I'd be a little worried about even showing that, but this is an old system that's no longer existing, so it's not there anymore. So let's go ahead and just open up a terminal right here. Now if I want to do it for Don, I don't want to do it as root, right? Okay, I believe that's the case. Yes. Okay. So what I'll do is open up a terminal and copy that in there, SSH keygen TRSA, and it may be end up being a little bigger than that, so let's do that. Wider. If you got your terminal window wide enough, you can read it without it word wrapping on you, because that really can be a pain. Okay, generating the RSA key pair. Enter file in which to save the key, and the default is that you just have to hit enter. Now I'm going to leave it empty, because as long as I don't give anybody my public keys, and then I just hit enter, and then I hit enter again. As long as I don't give anybody my public keys, now that's the one that I might not want to show. I'm not sure about that. How, if that's I think that's just, I don't think it's something that would be dangerous to show, but anyway, I'm not going to do it. course, I already did long enough for anybody to pause on it, I guess, didn't I? Okay, so now we have ID. See, we have a ID RSA pub, that's the public key, and then ID RSA, that's the private. And it has a key on it, an icon in this particular. And I have my, oh, let's try this. I don't know if this will work or not. I just realized I have my USB webcam plugged in and my Seagate backup drive plugged in. And I've got more USBs, several, but they're on the back of this machine. But my keyboard actually has 2 USB key plugs in it. It's a USB hub as well as a keyboard. Only thing is it's 1.1. It's old, but sometimes it works. Some machines it works and some it doesn't. I'll plug it in and see if it mounts this thing. If it never mounts, and the other day I tried it in something and it wouldn't work. And it used to work in Fedora 23 though, so it must be Fedora 28 is dropping that support if it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work until you like go into a file manager and try to mount it, so I'm going to do that. If it doesn't show up in here in Krusader, then I can't do it, you know, and it doesn't. Now let me try this. Sometimes you can go up here to Places and you'll see it. Or go to Places Computer, you might show up in this file manager. I don't see it. So, what's that? STL, that's my hard drive, file system. Okay, let me go to, I want to make sure it's actually not there. Go to my backup drive, and that'll get me into the folders where it should be mounted. Home Don Media, and it's really not there. Let me try putting it on the other side in case there's something funky about that. Hang on. Something broken, you know, maybe something's not working right. I'll try it on the other side of the keyboard and see if it tries to work. There's no lights on the keyboard to tell you that, you know, you plugged one in or anything, but sometimes it just takes a while too. You don't want to just plug them and unplug them a lot, because in Linux it gets a little more cranky about you doing that without actually unmounting a USB device. It could be that it's the fact that it's SD card and USB adapter that it's not recognizing, like the hardware won't recognize it. Thinking, I don't think I can write to my regular USB sticks though, because there might be a little space on them there where I could do it. I'll try that, because otherwise I've got to crawl around behind the machine and do it. I'm just going to leave it plugged in like that and see, because in case it decides to mount. Well, let's make sure it didn't. Sometimes it fools me, like I said. You go up here to the drives and it's there. You know, it doesn't show up on the desktop, but it's up here. Okay, it's not there. It's not in the Places. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be there. Alright, so let me get my let me check my sound there. See, my preview's still playing. Make sure my get one of my USB sticks. I'll get the one out that I'm planning on rewriting anyway. Mate, Fedora 28. That's the one I want to keep. That's the one I want to put on MOS. Fedora 27 security. Oh, it's 28. I wrote it with a big marker and couldn't read. Didn't read well. Okay. Now I need to get that off of there. What? Oh, no. I think does Glasses Cleaner get that off of there? Let me put I've got these gloves. I hate to fiddle around with every other thing under the sun, but sometimes it's really, if I don't do that, Actually, well, yeah, because I'm planning on overwriting it one way or the other here. I could just try using Media Writer on this machine. I thought about doing it, but I thought, well, if the darn thing is crashing, I don't want to do something as important as writing a stick. And the other thing that I just realized, if I don't unplug my backup drive and I make a mistake, then I could lose my you know, there's always that big chance of a bad chance of losing what's on your backup drive. I don't know if this, of course you can't see what I'm just trying to clean it off. I think rubbing alcohol takes it off like crazy. I know denatured alcohol will, but that's out in the garage. No, this glasses cleaner doesn't hardly phase it. I don't think, I started to say maybe Windex, but I don't think Windex would. Let me get, I'll switch mics here. So I can go walking around. Because I do have alcohol right over there. The other side of the room. I think the last time I wanted to clean that up, I usually just grab my eraser and do it. My regular pencil eraser. And it will do it. But you got to scrub forever, and this is just 91% isopropyl alcohol. We'll see how well it does. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's instant. I'll tell you one thing, the other thing that'll take it off real good, and that's your fingers. If you just, so there's the side I cleaned, and there's one other one I haven't cleaned yet. And that's well, now this is either that off-brand marker, Sharpie type marker, or it's the Sharpie brand. I don't remember which one it is. Boy, alcohol is funny. It's funny what sometimes some things alcohol will cut in an instant. Either kind of alcohol, isopropyl or denatured alcohol. Denatured's a little stronger when it comes to cleaning generally. But the good thing about doing it with the alcohol is that and yeah, I wore these gloves. I already had them ready to use. Well, alcohol, you know, even if it gets a little bit in your electronics, it's not going to harm it. It's a good cleaner. That, you know, the electronics cleaners, they always have alcohol in them. It's usually denatured alcohol. That's isopropyl. Denatured is what's usually in there. I just learned that recently. I didn't remember that until. Okay, so now I'm going to plug this into my keyboard. Let's see if it'll work. It should work. And if there's a partition on there that it can mount. Oh, getting confused again. Desktop, switch mics again. Okay, back to the good mic. Some people watch a TV show called The Good Wife, but I have a mic that's a good mic. But it's not anything to do with the TV show, though. It's just to do with sound. Okay. Now let's see. Back to my desktop. There it is. So the U3 system is that unremovable little Windows partition, but it's, I think it's too small to write anything on. Well, you can't write to it. And then this Fedora Live Security, let's see if I would be able to write to it. And let's make sure that that other drive didn't already mount. It's 29 or 30 gigabytes. Okay, let's go to, oh, there's more than one partition actually. There's there's 1.4 gigabyte Fedora Live Security. 19 megabytes Anaconda, that's the boot, the installer for Fedora. 9.1 megabyte Anaconda, and that's HFS plus. I don't know what that is. That's some sort of new type of partition to me. VFAT, that's FAT32, 9.1 megabyte. And then rest of my system, my backup drive and all that stuff. The U3 that you can't write to. Let's see if I can let's see, I want to make sure my I want to unplug that. Well, that's hard to get to. It's covered. It's actually good because, especially with something short, you won't have so much. Actually, I've tested that many times on the other keyboard, just like this one. I used to keep it in I still keep it in the rack, but I used to use it when I was watching TV, and so many times that thing would just slide completely out of that tray that it's on in my rack and hit the ground with the mouse plugged into it. That's one of the things it's for is putting your mouse into it. So you have one USB coming out of the keyboard into the machine, or in my case the KVM switch, and then the other one will go to you plug the mouse in, and it was really good for that. But let me look at this file. I want to figure out. Yeah, public, private. I want public RSA keys. There we go. That'll make me a folder on here. If I do I have room? 472 kilobyte free out of 9.1 megabytes. I don't know if I can. I'll try it and see. Oh, it finally decided that it would talk to me about the regular default. Finally decided it would talk to me about how to me plugging that in. I don't know. 427 kilobytes. Oh, that public key is 406 bytes. Oh, dadgummit, which one's bigger? I think kilobytes are bigger. I don't deal with that anymore. I don't pay attention. Public key. I'm going to call it public RSA key. I'll make me a folder. Even making a folder might be too much. Okay, I was allowed to do that. So now I want my public key. So even if I get this one and put it into the server, I can at least log into here from the server, assuming I still have an SSH FTP. If I have one running, I'm not. Let's see. I don't know if I do. FTP. I got an SSH agent running, and that's all. I think that's really just a client. So no, I don't think I can go that way. Anyway, I copied one on there. So if I want, this will be. I need to rename it though, so that I'll know what's what. .28. Lenovo i5 Fedora 28. Okay. It's 406 bytes, so yeah, evidently I was good on the size. Okay. 468 kilobytes left, so I forgot how many was in there before. 78 or something? Actually, I don't know. I already forgot. But that works. This will be gone before I know it. Anyway, in this particular instance, that gets me by. I need let's view. Wait, I'm going to view it, but not on the. Just going to put it on camera. Yeah. Okay, I can't tell really what's being viewed. Oh, yes, I can. My preview will show me in a minute. What I'm wondering is, do I need to copy this one with the instructions in it, or the last time I ran. Oh, did I already close that terminal? There we go. Yeah. I'll read it over to myself now, since you won't be able to read it, because I think it might have something in there. Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember. I'm pretty sure I remember having trouble trying to put a password in there. Actually, I think you can't just make up a password. You have to put in the password from this system or something to make it work. I think I kept just thinking, okay, I'll make up a password, and then it wouldn't work. I think what you got to do is, if you want to put a password in there, you put in that user's password. But anyway, as long as you don't share your private keys with anybody, this is supposed to be the safest way anyway, without the need of a password. And a lot of apps work seamlessly, like Lucky Backup doesn't work well with passwords. I think I've gotten it to work before, but if you just use the RSA keys, then it works on remote backup. Let's see. But yeah, this right here, select all, copy. This is the one I just ran, so I don't want to save. I don't need to put this old one on there. It'd probably be confusing. But the key fingerprint is, I can't remember. That's why I was trying to be careful about showing it. The old one that I'm looking at over here, from the old machine, the key fingerprint, I think, is different from the actual key. And I don't want to open it up and try to compare them, because I don't want to show them. But since I've already got a text running here, I'm going to save this. How do I want to save it? Well, yeah, I'll save it by the command name like I usually do. I'm trying to remember where I don't want to put it in the SSH folder. I think it might jack things up. So terminal output, do it just like that. So now I can copy that over. And of course, you didn't really see that. You go back over here, and I'll switch to actual desktop now, because I think I can show again. Okay, so this, I'll close. What else do I have in here? I just realized. Yeah, I just realized there could be, the names of those seem to be showing. Those are different things, CSS and Java. But yeah, if I keep flipping through those, let me go back to the camera again. I'll flip through them for a second before I close that search. But not sure what came up that might be something I need to keep private. What I was thinking is, somewhere in there I should have already saved the yeah, there wasn't one. Okay, there's not one in the IBM. There would be the root one, but not the Don, because I didn't make one yet. Okay. Now, the other thing I want is the one I just made. Go back to the desktop again so you can see what I'm talking about. I just saved that terminal output. I didn't mean to open that. Okay, so that way I'll be able to have it to run these commands over on the other machine. And I'm getting ready to reformat this stick anyway, so I don't have to worry about like filling it up too much and making it not function, because I'm fixing to reformat it. Only thing I'm actually concerned about is so my public key, and I renamed it from ID RSA pub to Fedora 28 because I'm fixing to make a new one for the IBM. And the one with and then this one here is just the terminal output, which gives me the, well, there SSH dash key agent space dash T space RSA. That's your command, but you know, I can copy and paste that. Okay, now, so that was quicker than Googling that time. Okay, now close that. So this is one of those things that I needed to do that I've just been avoiding. I kept forgetting at first. So now I'm going to get back on the camera and go back to the I was just sitting here thinking, you know, when I left OBS Studio like this, it won't be feedback whenever yeah, that should be okay. But when I left, even though when I left it like this, I'll just get off of it since I'm not going to be on the machine. I think maybe it uses less resources if you're not on, if you go into a different desktop. It seemed to on the mom's machine on the ASRock. Because the last time I went ahead, I forgot to unplug my stick. Well, I need to unmount it. You don't want to just unplug them. You really shouldn't do it in Windows either. But where is it? Oh, dang it! I just did by switching my KVM switch. I disconnected it instantly, so it didn't get to unmount or anything. So now it's, well, Fedora Live is back, but it jacks up that U3 thing, and it'll probably stay jacked up until I reboot this system now. Okay, now it's safe to remove the drive, but right-click and say reject or safely remove or whatever is in your particular system. Linux, they're all, it's different. It seems to be not only different between you know, versions of Fedora or Debian, but different between what kind of device you put in there. Like that SD card and the USB adapter, it seems to always say eject. And the other one will say safely remove USB device or something. Now, am I on the camera? I see a black screen on my preview, but I don't see where I'm at right now. It's probably just because it's taking a minute. There it is, yeah. Okay, now I'll plug this into the IBM. Give me my commands. Okay, it should mount up okay, I hope. It's probably going to take a little longer because it's this machine is slower, you know, a whole lot slower. It's a 2.5 or 4 or 5 gigahertz, but it's only a single core Celeron, and whereas the Lenovo i5 is a quad core with, you know, 4 gig of RAM. This one has 2 gig of RAM. Now let's go over here and see if it's showing up in the, it's actually not running real fast. I guess because I left Krusader running. Maybe I shouldn't have left Krusader running. It's also in, and it doesn't show any other drives yet. What are we looking at? It was saying something doesn't exist, and I was like, well, what doesn't exist? Somewhere that I had tried to go, I guess. Okay. It's just got the system showing right now. I hope that didn't, well, it shouldn't, actually that doesn't, it doesn't make it where it won't mount. I guess I can try plugging it into this keyboard again, but that shouldn't matter. I mean, it shouldn't. Actually, I could have left it. That's what I had done, and then I remembered, oh, I didn't. I was thinking in the way of, you know, you had to take it out of one machine and put it in the other. Actually, it might have went ahead and tried to mount. If it did try to mount, then it might have got messed up. Oh, this is XFCE. It's not near as good at. open up the home folder. Yeah, let's see. I don't see, it's not near as good at mounting things automatically. Sometimes it doesn't do it. I can't remember. Okay, yeah, this is media part image. Okay, let's see. Okay, run user. Okay, there's a couple of old things that's been mounted. What is this? What is that? It's still there, whatever it is. Well, that seems to be part of the system. That one there, it has an X on it, so it's not going to be there, yeah, anymore. So, mount, no. Media, no. Yeah, this is Fedora 23, so it's going to be in user, what is it, user media. Go back to the file system again. Yeah, run user, or is it run media? No, it's run user. There is no media in the root directory. Oh, run media. There it is. Run media Dawn, but there's nothing in there. Okay, that's where it's supposed to be. Run media Dawn. That's where it would be if it was working. Okay, and probably should have mounted up by now, but it hasn't. Why? Maybe because I forgot and did that with the keyboard. Let me take it out of there. Try putting it in the keyboard. Yeah, that's why I hardly ever put USB sticks in the keyboard, because I always forget and switch. I'm always in the habit of just switching real fast. That's why I thought it would be the coolest thing ever, you know, to have this USB in the keyboard. But I thought I can use it with my printers, and my printer, I can just, whatever machine I'm on, I'll have a printer. Thing is, I always switch while things are going, you know, like if I got something printing and I don't want to sit there and watch it print, I switch to another machine and do something else. So I don't know how many print jobs I broke before I decided to, because there's the two or four plugs in the back of the KVM switch, and you can permanently plug things in there, and there's the two on the keyboard that you can, you know, like generally temporarily. Well, you might have your mouse plugged in permanently, but I like this, you know, telemouse that I've had even longer than the keyboards. It mounted. I put it in the keyboard and it worked. Don't ask me why, but it should be there. That folder's still empty, but I'm not going to worry about that. And it's not working in that file browser, but let's see if it'll work in this one. It's the one I wanted anyway. Yeah, now I can see it. But I need that, what was it? Yeah, VFAT 9.1 megabyte. There we go, public keys. Okay. So first, let's see, .ssh. Only thing that's in there is known hosts. So first I want this right here. Open that up. Public output, terminal output. Get that little command. I'll just close that, since I'm still not sure about what I need to show and don't need to show out of there. And where's the open? I guess I don't have open terminal here. Start terminal here. It doesn't need to be there, but it won't hurt either. So this will be the Krusader terminal. It's called console. And Last time I had it open, I had it really big. Let's see. When I'm doing it, like when I want to see, it's not letting me resize it. No matter which way I click the little deal. What's going on with you? I think I'm just not hitting it. I don't know. I don't think it's fit just right to the screen on this machine. You always have to, like, you know, reset the. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to paste that in there and run that. Enter file, and of course it's going to go into home.net.ssh. And then empty. Okay, now we should have it in there. Now we have it in there with our known hosts. We have our public and private keys. So public key, we're going to copy over. No, do not move it. Copy. Can't you hit copy? Okay. And then let's go ahead and rename it before we forget. Yeah, there's rename where it should be, to the right, next to the last one. Let's see, Fedora 23. IBM Server. I think this one is so weird in XFCE. Whenever it turns blue and you can't really read the text. Fedora 23 IBM Server RSA. Okay, so now those are in there, and see what you got to do. Oh, now here's the other thing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to copy my Lenovo i5 one in there, and what else are you going to do but, you know, rename it? Otherwise it's going to overwrite your original public key for this machine. So I guess renaming them was not going to cause any hiccups. All I did was put on the front of it what machine it was, and then I left the ID_RSA.pub the same. And so, and then I have to do the same thing over there on the other machine, and I should be all good to go. And I want to save this. I'm trying to see if there's some quick way to, yeah. Oh, I see. Well, let's go ahead and copy it the same way as the other one. I like having the, when I was searching for it, I kept looking for, you know, SSH key, and I couldn't find it. And I finally found it, what, under just pub or something, public or something. I can hear that thing working. It's like it's reading the hard drive when it's trying to just do a copy and paste. Okay. Oh, you don't have to, well, I needed the file name. This one you can save output as. That's why I really like this terminal, this console terminal. But but it doesn't really, well, it takes a lot of characters in it, but once it gets so whatever its limit is, it drops off the stuff at the top. So when I do long, like running my install scripts and stuff, it drops it off. So I started using that other genome terminal or mate terminal or something. There's one that I was using in Fedora 23. I don't know if it was genome or mate terminal, one of those, that actually you could do that save output as, and it didn't have, if it's got a limit of how many characters, it's a big limit. And I was using that, and then I forgot to like make a note of which one it was, and so now I don't remember. The one I'm using right now in my Fedora 28 don't do that. So, okay, so now I've got the two more important keys done here that I need set up. So yeah, and I usually keep around 10 gigabyte free on here, but I've got 5.9 gigabyte because the stuff I downloaded. But so, I mean, it doesn't really matter right now, but I don't want to let it fill the machine up. Now I'm going to close that so I won't be working it too hard or anything. And let's go ahead and right click on the Fedora mount. It says mount. mount. They show not to be mounted. That's really weird. Well, how was I able to access it then? It must be something to do with XFCE. Well, I guess I can just take them out. The light's still kind of, you know, going bright and dim and bright and dim. It makes me think it's being, I guess it's being read but not being. Maybe that's just what that light in that thing does, because it would make you think it's being read or written to, but I'm not writing anything to it. I closed Krusader, so. But normally in all my other machines, you're going to be able to see unmount or eject or something. There's no point in mounting it. I guess I'll take it out. I mean, I did it by accident a minute ago. Didn't hurt anything. So I'm taking it out this time because I don't want it already in the keyboard. Yes, some of the things that I took for granted for years takes 30 minutes to set up, even when I can find my information quickly. Just being able to copy files, you know, over the network. And I could use Filezilla, but I've gone over that before, over and over. I could use Filezilla, but I don't want to use Filezilla because it only does straight FTP. Well, even it will connect over SSH, but what it'll do when you do that is let's go back to the desktop. It will check my sound. It will do just like regular FTP, and it'll be the exact time and date you copy the file. It'll change the file name, date, and time, and I hate that. It ruins all my backing up and syncing and everything. So now I want to go to my backup drive, go to my downloads, go to my Linux ISOs, go to there, Fedora 28 server, i386. I had downloaded that at some point. Okay. I think I already checked the checksums, I think. I can do it again. Let's see. Well, if I'm going to do that, I'll do it over there on that machine, that way to make sure I didn't have any problem during the transfer. Okay, so now, I've already forgot what the IP address was of the server. I don't think I have any. I don't think I have any bookmarks. Well, I've never been able to go to it, so it won't be in my bookmarks. So, yeah, okay, my SSH folder has my public and private key files. Now, it should just connect when I get the IP address. I can't remember it. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh, I think I do know what it is. Okay. So what I'll do, I was fixing to go on my router to find out what it is. 192 SFTP 192.168.0.124. Protocol not supported. You're still saying that? I think, whoops, I was trying to copy that and I hit the wrong darn key. I don't know if closing Krusader and opening it back up will help. Maybe it really doesn't support it anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's go ahead and go to my router and make sure I have the right address. It's getting to be aggravating. It really is. Okay. Have to be really careful when you go on the router and stuff of what it is you're going to be showing. Okay, connected clients. That'd be okay. Yeah, I had it right. 192.168.0.124. Let's see if I can go there. Make sure I can go there. Yep, see, that's my website. I'll just copy that so I'll have it in my Okay, now, Krusader, are you going to work for me or not? You're really starting to make me mad. Okay. Yeah, I get mad too much, don't I? Not supported. It really isn't supported anymore? See if it'll do FTP. Not supported. Surely you can do SSH. I know you can't. You can't do it. It did. Oh, when I took out anything in the front of it, it just did no HTTP, and it still says not FTP. So SFTP. Well, okay. So it turns out that I guess Krusader really has dropped support for some crazy reason to doing an SFTP. So there's probably room. Of course, I could have. I don't suppose it needs a reboot. Well, no, nothing should need a reboot for that. I can either use my. I could use my, my SD card and USB adapter. Could have done that to start with, or I can use Filezilla. I guess it's, this is not one of those things that's just going to throw everything off for me to, I don't put the HTTP or SFTP in there. I put the address, the IP address, username, have to get the password and then put the port in there. And it'll automatically put the port in there, then it'll automatically do the right protocol. So like if I do it right now, you can actually leave the password out and put it in it when it asks for it too. Say, do you trust the RSA key and fingerprints and of this? Always trust this. And that'll put it in your SSH file. Okay, so, it does work good. I guess that must be why Fedora is putting this as their... This came with Fedora. I kind of got to where I didn't really install it anymore because of the things I didn't like about that. And I had trouble when I would use it for syncing. You got to really pay attention to the options in the sync or you will really screw things up. It's different from Krusader, what I'm used to. Okay, now there's my downloads folder. Now I got to go over here and get in my got to go find run. See, when I hit enter, it did something weird. It said that already connected. What do you really want to do that or whatever? You can't just hit enter. You can't type some letters and hit enter like you do in Krusader. Let's see, is it media? Dawn. CKD expansion drive. You got to use your mouse. That's another thing I don't like about it. That took me to, I typed and that took me to, well, I didn't. It doesn't work as well, the typing in the window, but you can't just hit enter. It'll start trying to make a new connection is what it was doing. Okay, now. Oh, that's home. I was like, why is there only that one folder? Because I'm not in, it kicked me out. Somehow I got out of, all the way out of run media and ended up in my home directory just by using the keyboard. I think it's trying to be intelligent or something. When you got so much to go through like that, I hate not being able to type in there to find, where you're going. It's I'm really spoiled to the way Krusader works. Now I'm going to try it. At least get down to the LIN, Linux. There it is. Okay, now Fedora. Okay, now. Fedora 28. Where's 28? That's what I want. So I think if I hit right, well, you can do things up here at the top, or you can right click. Yeah. Upload. I want that whole folder anyway. I want the, the key and everything. And it works pretty fast. It's actually might be faster than copying with Krusader. It's pretty fast. Because this is going to be, does it tell me how much it's going to be down here? It says percentage, how much is left in time. Well, I'll just leave it because I don't want to mess anything up. But because it does act, I've never been able to get used to it. I always click around or hit the keyboard or do something that makes something jack up. So, especially if you're in the middle of a transfer, But you'll see it's